Welcome to our deep dive into the world of what is likely to be the most versatile, most abundant, and most valuable preparedness item. A seemingly simple substance with an array of incredible uses. Today we'll go into detail on what this substance is, where to find it, how to make use of its vast array of uses, and how to store it for long-term storage. First, let's start with the very basics. The molecular structure of this invaluable compound, or as it's known in the scientific community, sodium chloride. At its core, sodium chloride is a compound made up of two elements, sodium and chlorine. Picture a dance where each sodium atom is paired with a chlorine atom. They're not just casually hanging out together, they're intimately connected, forming a bond that's integral to this incredible substance we already use. This bond isn't just any bond, though. It's an ionic bond, a type of chemical bond where one atom, in this case sodium, loses an electron, and another atom, here chlorine, gains that electron. This transfer creates a balance, an equilibrium of sorts, resulting in a compound that's neutral overall. This ionic bonding is what gives this compound its unique properties and makes it such an essential part of our daily lives and an amazing item to stockpile for SHTF. But why does this matter, you might ask? Well, this simple structure is what makes it so versatile. It's responsible for its crystalline form, its ability to dissolve in water, and its characteristic salty taste. Moreover, it's this structure that allows it to interact with other substances in interesting ways, leading to its varied uses in cooking, preserving food, tanning, and even medical aid. It's also worth noting that sodium and chlorine on their own are quite reactive elements. Sodium is a soft, silvery white metal that's highly reactive with water, while chlorine is a greenish-yellow gas that's equally reactive. But when they come together to form sodium chloride, they become stable and safe. It's a testament to the power of chemistry, the magic that happens when two elements come together to form something entirely new and incredibly useful. What is this must-have for your preparations? Salt. Now, with a better understanding of what makes up this incredible compound, let's delve into multifaceted uses and why salt is the ultimate and unmatched preparation for your stockpile. First up, we explore salt's role in the culinary world. Picture this: you're preparing a meal, a recipe you've tried and tested, but something's missing. The flavors are muted, the ingredients don't come together as expected, and then it hits you. You forgot the salt. This tiny granule, so unassuming, yet so powerful, plays a pivotal role in our culinary ventures. For starters, salt is a flavor enhancer. It has the ability to reduce bitterness and bring out other tastes. That's why a pinch of salt can transform your morning coffee or brighten up a fruit salad. It's the silent hero, working in the background to elevate the flavors of your dish. But remember, it's a balancing act. Too little and your dish is flat, too much and it's inedible. But salt doesn't just sit on the surface of your food. It gets into the nitty-gritty, working its magic from within. When you add salt to meat, for instance, it dissolves into the juices, breaking down proteins and tenderizing the meat. This process, called denaturation, also happens when you're baking. Salt interacts with the gluten in flour, strengthening the dough and giving your breads and pastries their structure. Now let's talk types. Not all salts are created equal. There's table salt, the most common and finely ground, usually fortified with iodine. Then there's kosher salt, with its larger, irregular grains, a favorite among chefs for its easy handling and pure taste. Sea salt, harvested from evaporated seawater, brings a briny flavor and a delightful crunch. And let's not forget specialty salts like pink Himalayan or smoky black lava salt, each bringing a unique flavor profile and aesthetic to your dishes. And then there's the role of salt in cooking methods. In boiling, it raises the water's boiling point, cooking food faster. In grilling, a salt crust can seal in moisture, preventing your steak from drying out. In baking, it controls yeast fermentation, ensuring your bread rises just right. Salt's versatility doesn't end there. Ever tried salt roasting? This ancient technique involves burying your food in a mound of salt and heating it. The result? A perfectly cooked dish with enhanced flavors. Or how about pickling? Salt draws out moisture, creating an inhospitable environment for bacteria, thus preserving your fruits and vegetables. Salt, in its humble granule form, holds the culinary world in its grasp, enhancing flavors, transforming textures, aiding in cooking processes, and even preserving food. It's the unsung hero of your kitchen and a key player in the world of gastronomy. So the next time you sprinkle that salt, remember, you're not just adding flavor, but also playing with chemistry. Beyond adding flavor, salt has an ancient role as a preservative. This unassuming mineral, abundant in nature and common in our kitchens, has been a cornerstone of food conservation for millennia. But why is that? Well, it's all about osmosis. Salt has a high capacity for attracting water molecules. When it comes into contact with food, it draws out moisture, creating an environment unsuitable for bacteria. You see, bacteria, which are responsible for food spoilage, require water to grow and multiply. By dehydrating them, salt effectively halts their growth, thereby preserving the food. This process is called desiccation. Now, let's delve a bit deeper into how we use salt for food preservation. One of the most common methods is curing. Curing typically involves the use of a mixture of salt and nitrate or nitrite. This mixture is applied to the surface of the food, usually meat, which then absorbs the salt and other compounds. The salt draws out moisture, making the meat inhospitable to bacteria. The nitrates and nitrites, on the other hand, serve a dual purpose. They inhibit the growth of harmful bacteria and contribute to the characteristic color and flavor of cured meats. Think of the rich red hue and distinct taste of corned beef or pastrami. That's the magic of curing salts. Another popular method of food preservation involving salt is pickling. You've probably enjoyed pickles, sauerkraut, or even pickled eggs at some point. These foods owe their long shelf life to brine, a solution of salt and water. In pickling, the food is completely submerged in brine. The high salt concentration in the brine draws out the water from the food and from any bacteria present, effectively preserving the food. An added bonus is the tangy flavor that pickling imparts, thanks to the lactic acid produced by beneficial bacteria during fermentation. And let's not forget the role of salt in cheese making. Salt is integral to the process, influencing the cheese's texture, flavor, and shelf life. It controls the fermentation process by slowing down the activity of the cheese cultures, thus preventing the cheese from becoming overly acidic. Additionally, it helps in forming a rind and inhibiting the growth of unwanted molds and bacteria. So whether it's in your favorite cured meats, tangy pickles, or delicious cheeses, salt is working behind the scenes, extending shelf life, enhancing flavor, and keeping your food safe to eat. But the true power of salt as a preservative shines in scenarios where modern conveniences like refrigeration aren't available. In a survival situation or when living off-grid, being able to preserve food can be a lifesaver. And salt, with its ability to inhibit bacterial growth and its availability, is a reliable tool for this purpose. Clearly, salt isn't just for taste. It's a powerful ally in preserving food, particularly in situations where refrigeration might not be an option. Moving on, let's delve into salt's role in the tanning industry. When it comes to the preservation and processing of hides, salt is the unsung hero. It plays a crucial role in the tanning process, which transforms raw hides into durable materials used in various industries. So how does salt fit into all of this? Well, in the initial stages of tanning, salt acts as a preservative. It helps to prevent the decomposition of the hides, keeping them in a prime condition before they undergo further processing. This is achieved by drawing out the moisture, thus creating an environment unsuitable for bacteria that cause decay. But the magic of salt doesn't stop there. It also plays a part in the actual tanning process. This is where the hides are treated to become resistant to decay. Salt, in combination with other chemicals, helps to stabilize the proteins in the hide. This stabilization ensures that the hide retains its structure and becomes the leather we're all familiar with. Furthermore, salt aids in the final stages of tanning, namely the rehydration and softening of the hides. After the intense drying process, the hides become stiff and hard. Salt, in a process known as salting back, is added to the water where the hides are soaked. This aids in the rehydration of the hides, making them supple and ready for the next stages of processing. It's fascinating, isn't it? How this simple compound that we often take for granted plays such an integral role in an age-old process like tanning. From the initial preservation to the final stages of processing, Salt is there every step of the way, ensuring that the hides are transformed into high-quality leather. So the next time you admire a leather jacket or a pair of leather boots, remember the role of salt. It's not just an essential in our kitchens, but it's also key in industries such as tanning. From preserving food to preserving hides, salt proves its versatility. Now, let's turn our attention to the medicinal uses of salt. Salt is more than just a flavor enhancer or a preserving agent. It also has a significant role in our health and well-being. From wound cleaning to hydration and even dental health, salt has been a trusted ally in medicine for centuries. Let's start with wound cleaning. When you're dealing with a minor cut, scrape, or burn, a saline solution, which is essentially salt and water, can be incredibly effective. This simple concoction can help clean the wound, reducing the risk of infection and promoting healing. It's a natural disinfectant, helping to kill bacteria and other harmful organisms. However, remember to use a sterile saline solution or boiled and cooled salt water to avoid introducing any unwanted bacteria into the wound. Salt also plays a crucial role in our body's hydration. Yes, you heard it right. While excessive salt intake can lead to dehydration, the right amount is essential for our body's fluid balance. Salt helps retain water in the body and maintains the balance of electrolytes, which are vital for our body's nerves and muscles to function correctly. In cases of extreme dehydration or heat stroke, a solution of salt and sugar in water is often used to replenish lost fluids and electrolytes. Moving on to dental health, did you know that salt is often a key ingredient in your toothpaste? Moreover, a warm saltwater rinse can soothe a sore throat, reduce mouth inflammation, and even alleviate the pain from a toothache. It acts as an antiseptic, helping to kill bacteria and fight oral infections. But as with everything, it's important to use salt with caution. While it offers many health benefits, excessive salt intake can lead to high blood pressure, heart disease, and other health problems. It's all about balance. Using it topically for wound cleaning or as a mouth rinse is generally safe, but ingesting large amounts of salt, especially without adequate water intake, can be harmful. When it comes to administering salt as a medical aid, always consult with a healthcare professional if possible. Ideally, a naturopath. They can provide guidance on the appropriate use and dosage based on your specific health needs and conditions. As we can see, salt's benefits extend far beyond the kitchen, reaching even our first aid kits. It's a humble yet powerful substance that has stood the test of time, proving its worth in a myriad of ways. From enhancing our food's flavor to preserving our harvests, tanning hides, and even aiding in our health and wellness, salt truly is a remarkable mineral. So the next time you reach for that salt shaker, remember, you're not just adding flavor, you're also tapping into a long history of practical and medicinal uses. Now, let's delve into the nutritional aspects of salt. Salt, or sodium chloride to be precise, is more than just a kitchen staple. It plays a crucial role in our body's daily functions. Sodium, one of the key elements in salt, is an essential nutrient. Our bodies can't produce it, so we need to include it in our diets. Sodium helps to maintain fluid balance in the body, keeping our cells hydrated and our body systems functioning smoothly. It also plays a vital role in nerve and muscle function. Sodium helps transmit nerve impulses or messages throughout the body and helps your muscles, including your heart, to contract. However, it's not just about sodium. Many of us are familiar with iodized salt, but why is it iodized? This process was introduced in the early 20th century to prevent iodine deficiency, which can lead to conditions like goiter and intellectual impairments. By simply using iodized salt in your cooking, you can help ensure that you and your family are getting enough of this important nutrient. But, like most things in life, moderation is key. While our bodies need sodium, too much of it can lead to high blood pressure, heart disease, and other health problems. The World Health Organization recommends a daily sodium intake of less than 2 grams, which is about 1 teaspoon of salt. But they also recommend other things too. And remember, not all salt is created equal. Sea salt and Himalayan pink salt, among others, have different levels of sodium and other minerals. So when considering your salt intake, it's important to take into account the type of salt you're using. We do not recommend using table salt for consumption due to the added aluminium, which is harmful to the human body. So, while salt is essential, it's all about balance. It's about getting enough to support our body's functions, but not so much that it becomes a health risk. With a little knowledge and careful consideration, you can make salt work for you, not against you. While it's often vilified in discussions about diet and health, the truth is that our bodies need salt to function properly. So, while salt is essential, it's all about balance. Having learned about salt's myriad uses, you might be wondering, where can we get it? Well, my friends, salt is one of the most abundant resources on our planet, and it's available in a variety of forms, each with its unique properties and uses. Let's delve into the world of salt sourcing and discover where this precious mineral comes from and how it's harvested. First off, let's talk about sea salt. As the name suggests, this type of salt comes directly from the ocean. Harvesting sea salt is as simple as allowing seawater to evaporate in the sun, leaving behind salt crystals. This process is usually done in large, shallow ponds, known as salt pans. Once the water has evaporated, the salt is collected, cleaned, and packaged for sale. The unique thing about sea salt is that it retains trace minerals from the ocean, giving it a complex flavor profile. Next up is rock salt, also known as halite. Unlike sea salt, rock salt is mined from vast underground deposits left by dried-up ancient bodies of water. These deposits can be found all over the world, from the United States to Pakistan. Miners dig deep into the earth to reach these deposits and then use machinery to extract the salt. The harvested rock salt is then processed and refined to remove impurities, resulting in the table salt you're probably most familiar with. Another source of salt comes from brine wells. These are underground reservoirs of brine, a solution of water and salt. To extract the salt, the brine is pumped to the surface and then evaporated, much like sea salt. Brine wells are common in places with rich salt deposits like the Great Lakes region of North America. And let's not forget about lake salt. Certain lakes, like the Great Salt Lake in Utah or Lake Assal in Djibouti, have such high salt concentrations that they're often used as a source of salt. The process is similar to harvesting sea salt, relying on evaporation to separate the salt from the water. Finally, we have pink salt, the most famous of which comes from the Kura salt mine in Pakistan. This salt is known for its pink hue, which comes from trace amounts of iron oxide or rust. Pink salt is mined much like rock salt, but it is often sold in its raw, unrefined state, making it a favorite among gourmet chefs and health enthusiasts. So as you can see, salt is abundant and available in a variety of forms, each with its unique properties. From the salty breeze of the sea to the deep, dark depths of underground mines, salt is all around us, just waiting to be harvested. For those interested in stocking up, let's discuss bulk buying and storing salt. Salt is one of those incredibly versatile substances that we often take for granted, but for those of us who recognize its value, buying in bulk can be a smart move. Not only does it save you money in the long run, but it also ensures that you've got a steady supply for a multitude of uses. Now, where can you buy salt in bulk? Well, you'd be surprised. Many grocery stores, warehouse clubs, and online retailers offer bulk purchases of salt. You can also check with local feed or agricultural stores, as salt is commonly used in animal care. When buying in bulk, you've got a few options. Table salt, sea salt, and kosher salt are all readily available. Each type has its own unique properties, so it may be worth stocking up on a variety. In terms of cost, salt is one of the most cost-effective items you can stockpile. A 50-pound bag of salt can often be found for less than $20. And considering that salt never really expires, this is a one-time investment that could last you for years or even decades. Now, let's talk about storage. Salt is incredibly resilient. It doesn't spoil or rot, and it's resistant to most pests. However, it does have one major enemy: moisture. Moisture can cause salt to clump together or even dissolve, so it's crucial to store your salt in a cool, dry place. You can store salt in its original packaging, but for long-term storage, you might want to consider repackaging it into something more durable. Airtight containers made of glass or plastic are great options. They keep out moisture and allow you to see how much salt you have left at a glance. If you're storing salt for emergency purposes, you may want to consider vacuum sealing it. This process removes all the air from the packaging and can extend the shelf life of the salt even further. Plus, vacuum-sealed bags are easy to stack and store. For those who want an extra layer of protection, storing your salt containers in a plastic bin can help keep out any residual moisture. This is especially helpful if you're storing your salt in a basement or garage where humidity levels can fluctuate. And remember, salt isn't just for cooking. It can be used for preserving food, tanning hides, medical purposes, and more. By stocking up on salt, you're not just buying a seasoning. You're investing in a versatile tool that can be a lifesaver in a multitude of situations. With these tips, you're well equipped to start your salt stockpile. This knowledge on salt is invaluable, particularly for those preparing for situations where access to resources may be limited. From the kitchen to the medicine cabinet, from preserving foods to tanning hides, salt is truly an indispensable resource. So stock up, use wisely, and remember, life, just like a good meal, is all about balance. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps us greatly in bringing more information to you free of charge. Thank you for watching.